The Super Multiverse Saga, Part 9, The Dark Matter War. The multiverse is free. No gods, no observers, no control. For the first time in eternity, reality belongs to itself. And yet, something is stirring. Something that has always been there, lurking in the unseen spaces. Something older than time. It does not think. It does not feel. It simply consumes. The prologue. The hunger in the void. In the depths of space, beyond galaxies and dimensions, lies a place without light. A void that predates existence. A force that was never meant to awaken. But with the defeat of the Paradox Engine, with the final unraveling of the old rules, the barriers that kept it contained have weakened. And now the dark matter moves. It does not speak. It does not plan. It feeds. Entire galaxies vanish overnight. Not destroyed. Not erased. Consumed. The dark matter spreads like a living shadow, devouring everything in its path. And soon, it will reach the multiverse itself. Chapter 1, The Missing Stars. Peter Chen swings through the city, enjoying the first true peace in ages. No paradoxes, no timelines breaking, no multiversal wars. Then his spidey sense explodes in his skull. He looks up and sees the stars disappearing. Not flickering, not moving. Just gone. Chapter 2, The Heroes Reunite. Luke Skywalker, deep in meditation, feels a pull in the Force unlike anything before. Not darkness, not light. Something beyond both. Something that should not exist. Bill Nye watches as his instruments fail to register entire sectors of space. Macho Man Randy Savage wakes up to complete silence. No crowd, no cheers, just emptiness. They all meet at the crossroads of reality, summoned by the only force that still understands what's happening. A figure wrapped in shadow. The last surviving watcher. Uatu, the unseen. Uatu's face is grim. You have undone the old order. The multiverse is free, but now something has awoken that should have never been allowed to exist. Peter folds his arms. Uatu hesitates. That alone is terrifying. The dark matter is not an enemy. It is not a being. It is the hunger of the void itself. It is the end. Luke frowns. Then how do we stop it? Uatu looks at them. You don't. Silence. Then Macho Man steps forward, cracking his knuckles. Brother, I've suplexed time itself. Ain't no way we're going down without a fight. Uatu's expression darkens. Then prepare yourselves, because the war for existence has begun. Chapter 4, The Fall of Worlds. The dark matter spreads. The Kree homeworld is swallowed whole. The Jedi Temple on Coruscant is consumed in absolute silence. Even Asgard, the realm eternal, is overrun with shadow tendrils, its golden halls fading into nothing. Reality is not being erased, it is being devoured. And then, it reaches Earth. Peter watches as half the city vanishes in an instant. No screams, no explosions, just emptiness. Luke grips his lightsaber. We have to make our stand here. Bill nods. We need a countermeasure, something that can resist the dark matter. Macho Man slams his fists together. Then let's hit the gym, brothers. It's time to get cosmic. Chapter 5, The Last Light. Bill and Uatu work on a solution, analyzing the dark matter's structure. It doesn't function like normal matter. It's something outside the laws of physics. Then we make new laws, Bill says, adjusting his calculations. Meanwhile, Macho Man pushes himself beyond mortal limits, training in a gravity chamber so intense it warps space around him. Peter experiments with his own biology, trying to understand why his spidey sense reacts before the dark matter even arrives. Luke reaches deep into the Force, searching for a light strong enough to fight the void. And in that moment, he hears a voice. There is still one power left. A voice he has not heard in a long time. A voice that belongs to Yoda. Chapter 6, The Lightborn Weapon. Yoda's spirit appears before Luke. Power, you seek, but power alone, not enough. Then what do we do? Luke asks. Yoda lifts a hand. The stars around them shift and swirl, forming something ancient, something older than even the Force. The Super Multiverse Saga Part 9, The Dark Matter War. The multiverse not moving,
go ahead
not
to where
exist.
we're at.
Bill, the only force that still understands what's happening. A figure wrapped in shadow, the last surviving watcher. Uatu, the unseen. Chapter 3, The Warning. Uatu's face is grim. You have undone the old order. The multiverse is free, but now something has itself. A weapon forged at the beginning of time, the Lightborn Spear. Balance. This weapon brings. Where there is hunger, it gives creation. Where there is shadow, it brings light. Luke reaches for it, and the moment he touches it, the universe shifts. For the first time, the dark matter stops spreading. It recognizes something. Something it fears. Chapter 7, The Battle of the Black Horizon. The dark matter descends upon Earth. A tsunami of endless hunger. The heroes stand their ground. Luke wields the Lightborn Spear, each strike carving new stars into the sky. Peter moves faster than ever, dodging the dark matter's tendrils before they even appear. Bill activates his invention, a quantum stabilizer that slows the dark matter's advance. Macho Man, glowing with cosmic energy, delivers an elbow drop so powerful that it knocks the darkness back for the first time in eternity. But the dark matter is relentless, and then a form begins to take shape. The dark matter, for the first time, creates a being, a mind. A face forms in the shadows, eyes like collapsed stars, a voice like a dying universe. You cannot win. This is no longer just dark matter. This is its true form. This is Void King Azrael. Chapter 8, The Last Stand. The Void King raises a hand, and the sky itself collapses into blackness. Luke grips the Lightborn Spear. Peter and Bill brace for impact. Macho Man cracks his neck. All right, brother. Round 2. And with that, the final battle for existence begins. To be continued. That was insane. Now we have dark matter as an ancient... The Super Multiverse Saga Part 10, The Dark Matter Never Dies. The Void King has risen. The dark matter is unstoppable. The multiverse is on the brink. The heroes fought with everything they had. Luke wielded the Lightborn Spear. Peter pushed beyond his limits. Macho Man delivered the strongest elbow drop in history. Bill Nye defied the laws of physics. And yet, the dark matter did not die. It cannot die, because it is not a thing. It is the absence of all things. And now a new mind steps into the war. A mind that thrives in darkness. A mind that has spent a lifetime preparing for the impossible. A mind that is... a mind known as Batman. Prologue, the shadow that fights the abyss. The Justice League is gone. Not killed, not erased, simply swallowed by the dark matter. The Watchtower engulfed. Superman vanished. Wonder Woman missing. The Flash. He ran, but even speed has no meaning against the Void. Only one man remains. One man who saw this before anyone else did. Because he is always watching. Because he is always ready. And now, as Gotham itself begins to flicker out of existence, Batman stands alone, staring into the darkness. I've fought gods. I've fought demons. But I've never fought the Void itself. His eyes narrow. Time to change that. Chapter 1. The War Room in the Dark. Deep beneath the ruins of Gotham the Batcave, Batman assembles what remains of his network. A hologram flickers on. Bill Nye. Batman? How are you still... The dark matter doesn't consume information the way it consumes life. It doesn't see strategy as a threat. That was its mistake. Luke Skywalker's voice joins. You've been preparing for this? I prepare for everything. Peter leans in. Okay, cool, but do you have a plan? Because so far, punching it hasn't exactly worked. Batman turns. His eyes glow faintly blue. The dark matter tried to consume him. It tried to swallow his mind. But Batman is too stubborn to be erased, and in that moment, he learns something. You're all fighting the dark matter like it's a monster. He steps forward. But it's not a monster, it's a system. And like all systems, it has a weakness. Macho Man leads in. You mean, we can break it, brother? Batman. And I know how. The Chapter 2, the Bat God Protocol. Batman has faced the unknowable before. He has fought things beyond human comprehension, and every time he has found a way to win, because Batman does not fight fair. The dark matter is feeding. That means it has a metabolism, a function. Bill Nye's eyes widen. You mean it operates like a living organism? Batman nods. And organisms can be starved. A hologram appears. An ancient celestial relic, a power lost before time, the Omega Lantern Ring. A power source designed to burn endlessly, to counter the nothingness itself. And the only person who ever wielded it? A forgotten legend. A man who vanished long ago. Bruce Wayne. Luke's eyes widen. You're telling me you once became something more? Batman's jaw tightens. For a time. But I locked it away, because power like that changes you. Peter crosses his arms. Yeah, well, right now. Change is what we need. Macho Man grins. Time to unlock that power, brother. Chapter 3, the return of the Omega Bat. The team tracks the Omega Lantern Ring to the dead zone of the multiverse, where nothing should exist. But something does. A shrine. A place where a single figure stands waiting. A version of Batman that never removed the ring. A version of Batman that became something else. A Bat God. His voice is deep, layered with infinite echoes. You came to take back what was lost. Super Multiverse Saga Part X, the dark matter never dies. The Void King has risen. The dark matter is unstoppable. The multiverse is on the brink. The heroes fought with everything they had. Luke wielded the Lightborn spear. Peter pushed beyond his limits. Macho Man delivered the strongest elbow drop in history. Bill Nye defied the laws of physics. And yet, the dark matter did not die. It cannot die, because it is not a thing. It is the absence of all things. And now, a new mind stepped. Only one man remains. One man who saw this before anyone else did. Because he is the Super Multiverse Saga Part X, the strong... Man has faced the unknowable before. Chapter 4, the Omega Dark Knight rises. The Omega Lantern ignites, burning with the power of eternity. Batman's suit shifts, reforged in raw celestial energy. His eyes burn with the light of 10,000 suns. He is no longer just a man. He is Batman, the Omega Knight. And the dark matter finally hesitates. For the first time, the void knows fear. Chapter 5, the final war begins. The dark matter surges, but now Batman pushes it back. He fights the void like it is just another enemy. And the thing about Batman, he always wins. Macho Man delivers an infinite elbow drop, shaking the very core of existence. Peter swings through a collapsing singularity, redirecting the void's tendrils. Luke wields the Lightborn spear, piercing the very heart of the abyss. Bill Nye hacks the fundamental constants of reality itself, destabilizing the dark matter's form. And Batman burns through the darkness, tearing into the void like a scalpel. The dark matter tries to consume him, but Batman is prepared for it. He becomes the equation it cannot solve. And in one final ultimate moment, he forces the dark matter to recognize something it has never known before. Fear. And then it flees. Epilogue, the shadows end. The war is over. The dark matter still exists. It will always exist. But it will never dare return. Because now, it knows something. It knows that there is something stronger than the void itself. Something that even the darkness fears. Batman. Final scene. The Bat's last words. The team stands victorious. The multiverse is stable once more. Peter looks at Batman. So, what now? Batman stares into the distance. I need to make sure it never happens again. Luke nods. You're leaving. Batman places the Omega Lantern Ring back on its shrine. I am Batman. But for a moment, I was something else. And power like that isn't meant to be wielded. He turns, walking into the shadows. If the dark matter ever returns, so will I. And with that, Batman vanishes. The end! That was epic. We brought in Batman as the key to stopping the dark matter, gave him and made him the one thing even the Void fears. Want to keep going? Maybe explore where Batman went? The Super Multiverse Saga Part 14, The Shadow of Vince McMahon. The dark matter has returned. The Void King Azrael seeks to consume all things. Batman has triggered the Godslayer Protocol, preparing for the final battle. But in the deepest shadows of existence, beyond the reach of gods and monsters, one man still waits. He has been watching. He has been plotting. And now... The Super Multiverse Saga Part 12, The Dark Matter Rises. The final architect is dead. The multiverse is unshackled. Reality has no master. But something remains. Something that was never created. Something that was never designed. Something that was never bound by rules. Because before there was a multiverse, before there was even existence, there was only one thing. Darkness. And it has been waiting. Now, with no one left to stop it, the dark matter rises. Prologue, the shadow that never left. Far beyond the remnants of space and time, in a void beyond measurement, a presence stirs. The dark matter never died. It never could. Because it is not a thing. It is the absence of all things. With the final architect gone, with nothing left shaping reality, it is time for the original force of the void to reclaim what was always its. A single whisper ripples across existence. A sound that is not heard but felt. Light fades, the hunger remains. And then the first stars go dark. Again. Chapter 1. The New Age of Shadows. Peter Chen swings through a city, except it's not the same city anymore. Buildings shift, streets loop. His spider sense is going wild. He looks up, the moon vanishes. Not hidden, not blocked, just gone. Somewhere on Tatooine, Luke Skywalker meditates, sensing a familiar cold creeping back into the Force. He reaches out and feels nothing, because the Force itself is being eaten away. Bill Nye watches as his instruments show impossible numbers, shifting equations that should not exist. This isn't just another threat. This is entropy itself. And Macho Man? Macho Man stands in the middle of a silent wrestling ring. The crowd is frozen. No cheers, no movement. Like they were never there. His fists tighten. Oh, hell no, I know this feeling. We ain't doing this again, brother. The dark matter has returned, and this time there is nothing left to stop it. Chapter 2. The Fall of Reality's Light. Entire galaxies disappear overnight. Not destroyed, not rewritten, just devoured. The Jedi Temple? Gone. The Green Lantern Corps? Vanished. The very concept of science itself? Fading. This is not a war. This is the end of all things. And then, the dark matter gives it the Super Multiverse Saga Part 12. The dark matter rises. The final arc beyond the remnants of space and time, in a void beyond... But something remains. Something that was never created. Something that was never designed. Something that was never bound by rules. Because before there was a multiverse, before there was even existence, there was only one thing. Darkness. And it has been waiting. Now, with no one left to stop it, the dark matter rises. Prologue, the shadow that never left. Far beyond the remnants of space and time, in a void beyond measurement, a presence stirs. The dark matter never died. It never could. Because it is not a thing. It is the absence of all things. With the final architect gone. The Super Multiverse Saga Part 12, The Final Architect. The dark matter has fled. The multiverse stands victorious. Batman has vanished into the shadows, ensuring the void will never return. But deep in the unseen layers of existence, something watches. Not the old ones, not the observers, not even the dark matter. Something that has never acted before. Because it was never supposed to. But now? Now it must. For the true secret of the multiverse is about to be revealed. Prologue, the eyes that build reality. At the edge of all things, beyond time, beyond paradoxes, beyond the very concept of existence, there is a place, a construct of pure thought, a realm where reality was first designed. And at the heart of it, a being older than the first universe awakens. The final architect. It does not speak, it does not rule, it creates. It is the one who laid the foundation of existence itself. It never needed to interfere. Until now. Because the multiverse has broken its design. The Time Stone was destroyed. The Power Stone was shattered. The Prime Algorithm was deleted. The Final Observer was erased. The Dark Matter was forced to retreat. And in doing so, the heroes have done something that should have never been possible. They have unshackled existence from its creator. They have created a reality that is no longer bound by its original code. And the Final Architect will not allow that to stand. For the first time in eternity, the Architect moves. At its first action, it rewrites the past. Chapter 1, The Fractured History. Peter Chen wakes up somewhere different. He blinks. He's in his old apartment. Before he ever got his powers, his suit is gone. His abilities are gone. But something is wrong. Outside, he sees Macho Man Randy Savage fighting a version of himself that shouldn't exist. Across the skyline, Luke Skywalker's Jedi Temple is burning again, except this time he never built it. And Bill Nye stares at a blackboard filled with equations that should not be possible. Because reality is rewriting itself in real time. They are not being erased. They are being put back in place. Like pieces of a puzzle forced to fit an old design, and then a voice booms through reality itself. You have altered what was meant to be. Peter clenches his fists. Oh, not this again. Luke grips his lightsaber. Who are you? The Final Architect's presence descends upon the multiverse. I am the Maker. I am the first designer. I am the order before the chaos. Macho Man cracks his knuckles. Yeah, well, we're the ones that broke your little script, brother. The Architect's voice does not waver. And now, I will restore it. Chapter 2. The Rewriting of the Multiverse. Every event, every battle, everything they have ever fought for. The Architect is rewriting all of it. The Time Stone is returned to existence. The Dark Matter is sealed away again. The Prime Algorithm is rebuilt. The Final Observer is reinstated. The old ones are reset. Everything they fought to change is being forced back into place. And the heroes? They are being split apart, sent back to their correct positions in time. The Super Multiverse Saga partner you have, the Final Architect. The Dark Matter has fled. The multiverse stands victorious. Batman has vanished into the shadows, ensuring the Void will never return. But deep in the unseen layers of existence, something watches. Not the old ones, not the observers, not even the Dark Matter. Something that has never acted before, because it was never supposed to. But now it must. For the true secret of the multiverse is about to be revealed. Prologue, the eyes that build reality. At the edge of all things, beyond time, beyond paradoxes, beyond the very concept of existence, there is a place, a construct of pure thought, a realm where reality was first designed, and at the heart of it, a being older than the first universe awakens. The Final Architect. It does not speak. It does not rule. It creates. It is the Fought One who laid the foundation of existence itself. It never needed to interfere. Until now. Because the multiverse has broken its design. The Super Multiverse Saga Part 13. The Shadow of Vince McMahon. The Dark Matter is rising. Batman has triggered the Godslayer protocol. The Void King seeks to corrupt him into its ultimate weapon. But deep in the multiversal abyss, beyond the sight of gods, kings, and architects, someone watches. Someone who has always waited in the shadows. Someone who never truly lost. A man too powerful to erase. A man too cunning to defeat. A man who was never bound by fate in the first place. And now, the time has come for his greatest scheme yet. Because while heroes and monsters fight for the soul of existence, Vince McMahon is planning to own it. Prologue, the boardroom beyond time. At the edge of oblivion, in a place that does not exist on any map, a dark throne room flickers into reality. Massive golden banners hang from nothingness, emblazoned with the letters WWE. A long, black table stretches into the infinite void, and at its head, a chair turns slowly. A figure leans forward grinning. His suit is immaculate. His eyes glow with red fire. His voice is smooth, commanding, terrifying. So the multiverse is collapsing again. A deep chuckle. Perfect. Vince McMahon never left. He was never deleted. Never erased. Never defeated. Because Vince McMahon does not lose, he waits. And now, as the final battle for reality itself unfolds, he is ready to make his move. Because while the Void King seeks to consume all of existence, Vince McMahon has a different goal. He doesn't want to destroy reality. He wants to own it. Chapter 1, The Ultimate Power Play. As Peter, Luke, Macho Man, Bill Nye, and Batman prepare to stop the Void King, a new energy surges through the multiverse. Not darkness, not light, something far worse. Something called the McMahon Event. Chapter 2, The Shockwave Heard Across Worlds. Luke Skywalker senses the Force rippling again, but this time it's not because of the Void King. Something corporate, something insidious. Bill Nye's readings go haywire. Oh no, this is something unnatural. Peter feels his body glitching, as if his entire history is being rebranded in real time. Macho Man grabs his head. Ain't no way, it's him. Then the sky splits apart. A massive golden titan steps through. Its armor gleams like championship gold. Its cape is made of old WWE contracts. Its face is Vince McMahon, and it smirks. The Super Multiverse Saga Part 14, The Shadow of Vince McMahon. The dark matter has returned. The Void King Azrael seeks to consume all things. Batman has triggered the Godslayer protocol, preparing for the final battle. But in the deepest shadows of existence, beyond the reach of gods and monsters, one man still waits. He has been watching, he has been plotting, and now, with the multiverse on the brink, it is time to make his move. Because Vince McMahon never left. He was never erased. He was never defeated. Because Vince McMahon does not lose. He profits. And in this war for existence, Vince McMahon has a contract to sign. Prologue. The deal with the Void. In the blackest corners of the abyss, where even the Void King's tendrils dare not touch, a single spotlight flickers on. A mahogany desk materializes, sleek, polished, adorned with gold trim. And behind it, leaning back in an executive chair made of reality itself, a figure of pure darkness looms before him. The Void King Azrael, the living embodiment of dark matter, the force that devours all things. It does not bow, it does not kneel, it hungers. But McMahon just grins wider. I gotta say, I like your style. Azrael's voice is a low vibration, a death knell across eternity. You stand before oblivion itself. All things fall to me. Vince chuckles, leaning forward. Yeah. Very intimidating. But let's cut to the chase, pal. You want to consume the multiverse. You want everything to be swallowed into darkness. Great. But you're missing one thing. The Void King shifts, its form twisting. What could I possibly lack? McMahon steeples his fingers, his eyes glowing red. A brand. A beat of silence. Azrael's form wavers. It does not understand. Vince leans back, laughing. Oh, you're strong, no doubt about it. But strength isn't enough. You want to rule the Void? You need power. Real power. And what's more powerful than an empire? Azrael does not speak. Ash, the Super Multiverse Saga Part. McMahon steeples it. You need power. Real power. And what's more powerful than an empire? Azrael does not speak. McMahon's smile widens. That's why I'm offering you a deal. A contract appears in McMahon's hands. You don't just consume the multiverse, you rebrand it. He flips the contract over, revealing 3 massive letters carved into existence itself. W.E. The World Wrestling Existence. Azrael. Vince McMahon? Vince McMahon laughs. Because this isn't a battle for reality anymore. This is a corporate takeover. Chapter 1, The McMahon Event begins. The multiverse trembles, not from destruction, but from a hostile acquisition. Luke Skywalker's Jedi Order, rebranded as the Galactic Championship Federation. Peter Parker's Spider-Verse, now the Web Warriors and Entertainment Division. Macho Man's legendary career, absorbed into the eternal WrestleMania saga. And the worst part, it works. The Void King, once a mindless force of destruction, now has a CEO, and Vince McMahon is running the show. Chapter 2, The Hero's Last Resistance. As reality itself is monetized, the last heroes of the multiverse gather. Macho Man Randy Savage, resisting his own forced induction into the Hall of Eternal Champions. Luke Skywalker, wielding the Lightborn spear now covered in WWE sponsorship logos. Peter Parker, whose entire identity has been replaced with the masked Marvel merchandise line. Bill Nye, barely holding together the scientific principles of existence, which are now being rewritten into sports entertainment physics. And standing at the front of the resistance, Batman, the only man who saw this coming, the only man who has defeated McMahon before, the only one who can stop him now. Because Vince McMahon is the final boss, and this is the ultimate main event. Chapter 3, the battle for reality's booking rights. The arena is set, a floating cosmic stadium built from the shattered remnants of existence itself. Millions of shadowy figures cheer from the abyss, their voices warped, their souls now property of WWE Inc. And at the center of the ring, Vince McMahon stands tall. Draped in a cloak woven from the multiverse itself, the championship belt around his waist is carved from the very concept of victory. The announcer's voice booms through all reality. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the final showdown. For control of all existence, Batman versus Vince McMahon. The crowd erupts, and as Batman steps into the ring, eyes burning with absolute determination, Vince McMahon just smirks. Let's dance, pal. Chapter 4. The match that decides everything. This is not a normal fight. This is a battle of pure narrative force. Every punch Batman throws is met with a new storyline twist. Every move Vince makes alters the very rules of the fight in real time. Luke tries to interfere. Vince rewrites the script, making him a surprise heel turn. Peter webs McMahon. His webbing is now trademarked property of the WWE Multiversal division. Macho Man attempts the ultimate elbow drop. Vince absorbs it into the biggest WrestleMania moment of all time. Reality itself bends to McMahon's will, because he isn't just fighting Batman. He's booking the match itself. And then Batman stops moving. McMahon raises an eyebrow. Given up, pal? Batman slowly lifts his head. His eyes glow with something McMahon has never seen before. A presence bigger than the multiverse itself. And in a voice that shakes even the Void King, Batman whispers, I wrote a new ending. And then Batman breaks the script. Chapter 5, The Fall of McMahon. For the first time in history, Vince McMahon loses control of the narrative. Reality glitches, the storylines collapse, the contracts dissolve into dust. And as McMahon staggers backward, watching his empire crumble into nothing, Batman delivers the final blow. A single devastating punch, one that doesn't just hit McMahon, it hits the very idea of him. And with that, Vince McMahon is erased, not by gods, not by destruction, but by the one thing he could never control. The power of a better story. And as the multiverse returns to normal, Batman turns, his mission finally complete. Epilogue, the legacy of the McMahon War. Reality is free once more. The Void King is gone. The dark matter has receded. The multiverse belongs to itself again. Luke sighs. It's over. Peter grins. That was insane. Macho Man flexes. I'll never forgive that man for what he did, but damn if he didn't know how to hype a fight. And Batman? Batman looks at the empty seat in the void where McMahon once ruled. Because something tells him this isn't the last he'll hear from Vince. To be continued. The Super Multiverse Saga Part 14, The McMahon Contingency. Vince McMahon has been erased. The WWE Multiversal Takeover has been stopped. The dark matter has receded. The multiverse is free once more. And yet, something remains. Something left behind. Because Vince McMahon never loses. Not really. And in the depths of what remains of his empire, a final contingency plan activates. A plan for his return. A plan known as McMahon Forever. Prologue, the Vault of Infinite Contracts. Far beneath the ruins of the cosmic arena, where McMahon made his final stand, something awakens. A vault. Not just any vault. A multiversal archive of contracts, loopholes, and legal bindings written into the very fabric of reality itself. And in the deepest chamber, a hologram flickers on. The image of Vince McMahon himself, grinning. His voice echoes through every universe at once. So, you think you've beaten me? The hologram chuckles. You think a simple end of the story means I'm gone? His eyes glow red. Well, guess what, pal? The vault doors burst open, releasing a wave of golden energy. The final remains of Vince's influence. I own the multiverse. Chapter 1. The McMahon virus spreads. The heroes barely have time to recover. The Super Multiverse Saga, because Vince McMahon never loses. Winds of the cosmic arena, a hologram flickers on, red. Heroes barely have time to recover before they realize something is wrong. Bill Nye's instruments flicker with strange readings. Luke Skywalker senses a disturbance in the Force, one unlike anything before. Peter Parker's suit glitches, like his own existence is under new management. And Macho Man? Macho Man's championship belt reappears. Except now it bears McMahon's insignia. The multiverse is being rewritten again. Not by force, not by destruction, by contract. Chapter 2. The Last Loophole. Batman stands in the Batcave studying the contract fragments left behind. His mind races. McMahon is gone. The company is destroyed, and yet something remains. A final, unbreakable clause. His eyes narrow. McMahon didn't just rule by power, he ruled by paperwork. Luke steps forward. What are you saying? Batman turns to them. He didn't need to survive. He just needed to make sure his legacy did. Bill Nye's face pales. You mean? Batman nods. McMahon signed the multiverse itself into a contract. Peter blinks. A contract? Like an actual legal contract? Batman's voice is deadly serious. Exactly. And now, he still owns everything. Chapter 3. The fight for the rights to reality. The contract is binding. It's not just words on paper. It's written into the core of existence itself. The super multiverse, because tracks. And in the, you think the McMahon virus spreads. The heroes barely. The super multiverse, because it tracks to itself. You think a Scepter 1, a Parker's super action by contract. Chapter 2. The Last Loophole. Batman didn't just rule itself into a contract. Not right for the multiverse McMahon's control. If the heroes win, the contract is broken. Reality is free. Batman grits his teeth. This is it. One last fight. Macho Man steps forward. He cracks his neck. Then let's give him a show, brother. Chapter 4. The final battle for reality. The arena forms around them. A massive cosmic wrestling ring floating in the abyss. Millions of spectral fans cheer from the void, remnants of those who once watched WWE across every universe. And at the center, McMahon Prime stands tall. It gestures to the ring. Who will challenge me for control of existence? Batman steps forward first. I will. Luke steps up next, and so will I. Peter cracks his knuckles. Let's do this. Bill Nye adjusts his goggles. I'm in. And finally, Macho Man. Macho Man grins like a madman. I'm coming for you, McMahon. The bell rings, and the fight begins. Chapter 5. The ultimate wrestling match. This is not just a physical fight. This is a battle of will, strategy, and pure narrative force. Luke Skywalker wields the Lightborn spear, countering McMahon Prime's reality-altering clauses. Peter swings through the cosmic ropes, dodging McMahon's legal attacks. Bill Nye disrupts the contract bindings, rewriting clauses in real time. Batman predicts every move, setting up the perfect counterplay. Macho Man delivers suplexes that shake the very foundation of existence. McMahon Prime adapts. It summons legendary wrestlers from across history, forcing the heroes to battle through endless waves of champions. Hulk Hogan, The Undertaker, Stone Cold Steve Austin, even a shadowy version of Macho Man himself. But the heroes push forward. They climb to the top rope of reality itself. And then Macho Man leaps. The infinite elbow drop. A move so powerful it overwrites the final contract. McMahon Prime screams. The contract shatters, and as the final echoes of Vince McMahon's influence fade into the void, Macho Man stands tall. Oh yeah, brother! Multiverse is ours again. Epilogue, the end of the McMahon era. The multiverse breathes again. The WWE multiversal takeover is over. Luke smiles. Balance restored. Peter sighs in relief. I am never fighting a corporate entity again. Bill Nye chuckles. Science wins, baby. Batman watches the void carefully. Because something still doesn't sit right. Because Vince McMahon always has another plan. But for now they have won. They're at the end. This was next level madness. We turned the Super Multiverse Saga Part 16, McMahon's Final Gambit. The WWE multiversal takeover is over. The heroes have won. Vince McMahon has been erased. And yet something is still wrong. Batman feels it first. A lingering echo in the void. A contract that was never truly broken. Macho Man, victorious, raises his championship belt high. The multiverse cheers, and then the belt disappears, replaced by a single golden briefcase. Peter Parker stares at it. Wait, is that what I think it is? Bill Nye's scanners malfunction. Luke Skywalker's connection to the Force flickers, and then the holograms flicker back on. The multiverse glitches, the cheers stop, and a single voice echoes through reality itself. You thought I wouldn't have a backup plan. A slow drumbeat begins, a theme song plays, and from the depths of obliteration itself, Vince McMahon's voice. Ladies and gentlemen, Vince McMahon has cashed in the money in the bank contract. Prologue. The contract that never dies. The golden briefcase opens on its own. Inside, the contract. The final clause. A binding agreement woven into the very essence of the multiverse. Macho Man grabs his head. No, not like this, brother. Luke Skywalker's eyes widen in horror. Bill Nye scans the contract's energy signature. This isn't just a legal document. It's a failsafe. A living piece of McMahon's will, and it's activating. Peter stares at the sky. Someone please tell me we're not about to fight a god again. And then, the arena begins reconstructing itself. Not a stadium, not a ring, something far worse. A throne room. A corporate empire reforming from the ashes. And at the center of it all, a golden throne rises. A figure steps forward. His suit is immaculate. His eyes burn with unlimited power, and Vince McMahon grins. Welcome to the real main event, pal. Chapter 1, the McMahon Omniverse. Vince never truly left. His legacy was too strong. His contracts were too deep. And now he has activated his final gambit, not just to own the multiverse, to become it. The stadium shifts, the void churns, and then the title cards appear in the sky. The WWE Omniverse begins now. Every universe, every hero, every legend, all under McMahon's control. The final phase of his plan is complete. And now the heroes must fight to break free one last time. Chapter 2, the hero's last stand. Batman clenches his fists. We stop this. Now. Macho Man breathes deeply. One last match, brother. Luke grips his lightsaber. Then let's make it count. Peter sighs. I swear if I get put into another storyline, I'm gonna lose it. Bill Nye smirks. Then let's introduce some science to the script. And with that, the final war for reality begins. At Chapter 3, the Gauntlet of Champions. McMahon summons every champion who ever lived. The ultimate gauntlet. The greatest warriors in history, brainwashed by his control. Stone Cold Steve Austin, infused with cosmic energy. The Undertaker, resurrected as an eternal force of destruction. The Rock, now a literal living mountain of power. Hulk Hogan, wielding the power of the immortal Wrestleverse. Every legend of combat steps forward. And the heroes? They rush into battle. Macho Man tackles Hogan, launching a suplex so powerful that stars explode. Luke duels the Undertaker, trading saber strikes against pure darkness. Peter dodges the Rock's seismic punches, webbing his arms together. Bill Nye hacks the quantum structure of the arena, disrupting McMahon's control. And Batman? Batman goes straight for Vince, because Batman has had enough. Chapter 4, Batman vs. Vince McMahon, the end of an era. Batman and Vince collide in the throne room. The battle is not just physical, it's a battle of control. A war between the ultimate strategist and the ultimate businessman. Every punch Batman throws, Vince rewrites the script. Every counter McMahon makes, Batman finds a loophole. Until McMahon tries to rewrite Batman's story, he reaches into the multiverse itself and erases Batman's past. The pearls never fall. The alley never exists. Bruce Wayne never becomes the Bat. McMahon rewrote the origin itself. Peter gasps, "Oh, hell no." Macho Man throws a punch into the void. Luke reaches out through the Force. Bill Nye activates a quantum failsafe. But Batman? Batman smiles. Because McMahon made one mistake. He tried to rewrite someone who was already outside the script. And in that moment, Batman rewrites himself back. Because Batman always comes back. And in one final ultimate moment, Batman grabs Vince by the collar and delivers the most powerful finisher in history. The Bat-Bomb suplex, a move so strong it deletes McMahon's final contract. The WWE Omniverse shatters. McMahon screams. And then he is gone. For good. Chapter 5, the end of McMahon's era. The multiverse collapses back into place. The stadium disappears. The Gauntlet of Champions returns to normal. And for the first time in all of history, Vince McMahon is truly gone. No backups, no fail-safes, no return. Batman steps forward. He looks at the empty void where McMahon once stood, and he simply says, "Never again." Epilogue. A universe without Vince. The heroes stand together, victorious. Luke nods. Balance restored. Peter stretches. That was exhausting. "Oh yeah, brother." Bill Nye checks his readings. Science wins again. And Batman? Batman steps into the shadows. For the first time in ages, he can finally rest, because the war is over. And Vince McMahon is no more. The multiverse belongs to itself. The end. For real this time. The Super Multiverse Saga Part 12, The Return of Thanos. The WWE Omniverse has fallen. Vince McMahon is gone. The multiverse is free. But freedom comes with consequences. With no more cosmic entities, no more corporate overlords, and no more divine architects, something else rises. Something that has waited in the shadows, something inevitable. Thanos returns. But this time, he is beyond anything they have ever faced. Because Thanos has evolved. Prologue, the Titan's Awakening. Deep in the blackest corners of existence, in the ruins of the old Infinity War, a lone figure stirs. Once he was defeated. Once he was erased. Once he was forgotten. But now he remembers. A deep breath, his golden armor reforms around him. His gauntleted fist clenches. He looks down at his own hands, and for the first time he sees what he has become. Not just Thanos, not just the Mad Titan, Thanos the Absolute. His voice rumbles like a dying universe. I was once a conqueror, now I am the end. And as he rises from the void, the multiverse begins to tremble. Chapter 1, The New Cosmic Order. Luke Skywalker feels it first. A wave of energy unlike anything before. Not the Force, not the dark side, something beyond both. Peter Parker's spidey sense explodes in his skull. Bill Nye's instruments overload. Macho Man stares at the sky and watches as stars begin to vanish. And Batman? Batman stands in